Hey y'all, we are here at St. Albert's the Great in North Royalton, Ohio. I am looking forward to touring this parish. The pastor, Father Estok, and they actually have a new priest. He's been ordained for, I would say, 2 to 3 years, Father Dominic Gideon. So, stay tuned. I want to show you this entire parish. Hello y'all, I am here with Father Estok at St. Albert's the Great in North Royalton, Ohio. This parish is beautiful. I love the mosaic art, and I will also show you that, but I've been very much impressed. So I want to get to know you a little bit more. So tell us about your background as a Catholic priest, and also how long have you been at this parish?
Well, I've been at St. Albert for 17 years now. Just past this January, I celebrated 40 years as a priest, ordained in 1985, and I came to the vocation of my priesthood in my senior year of college. So I wasn't the typical, especially in those days, I wasn't the typical, high school graduate going into Borromeo. I went to Wittenberg University and studied political science, and then I came to the diocese and I went to St. Mary's Seminary, and I was ordained after that. And I think maybe some of your interests are like mine. I was interested in music and I was interested in religion. I was very faithful, uncharacteristic of my fraternity brothers at the time. And and I was interested in church society and promoting community and ministry, and so that's how I ended up, I think, discerning the call to the priesthood. I was ordained and I went to St. Bridget in Parma, and then I went to St. Monica in Garfield Heights for many years, and then I moved into the diocesan administration. I became the director of continuing education of priests with my office at the seminary, and then in the year 2000, Bishop Pilla invited me to come into his office as his admin assistant and his liturgical MC, and so I spent 10 years there, and during that time I also became the rector of the Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist, so that was an interesting time in my life, and then I was appointed pastor at St. Albert the Great. So that's how I got here, and this is the biggest, one of the biggest parishes in the diocese. There's 183 of them, I think. We have 4,000 households registered, about 11,000 souls, if you will, in North Royalton, Ohio, and we're the only Catholic church in North Royalton. So.
Wow, yeah, I did not know that this was one of the larger Catholic churches in Northeast Ohio.
We also have the largest Catholic school in the Diocese of Cleveland. There's about 1,000 children from preschool to 8th grade in this parish school. So it's a big ministry.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I did not know that. Mm-hmm. I know I was at Holy Family, that's pretty big, but I did not know this was one of the larger Catholic churches. How many priests are currently here?
There are 3 of us. We're blessed, and I am by far the oldest. I'm almost 68 years old, and I have 2 vicars. Father Dominic Gideon is 30. He just turned 30 years of age, and Father Kyle Rosser is just turned 28 years of age. So they both came here as newly ordained priests. So people love them, and they're really a blessing for our parish.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much for explaining that. And we're really looking forward to looking around the church. This place is really nice, very peaceful too. The Adoration Chapel might have been my favorite one I visited so far. So yeah,
A beauty.
yeah. So okay, yeah, definitely. We're gonna show you around.
So I'm happy to share the beauty of the church, which reflects the beauty of our Catholic faith. We remodeled and redecorated the inside of this church in 2014. It was built in 1981, and as you can see as we go around, it was built on a foundation that was put out in 1963. And at that time, they were planning to build a long, we call them maybe a bowling alley church, basilica shape. But in 1981, when they finally got to building the upstairs church, they built a church in the round, so to speak, or at least a fan shape. And so you can tell that by the mix in the architecture and the interior furnishings. So the long architecture with the vaulted ceiling that was intended to help the acoustics. You can see it this way. And then, of course, that was supposed to be the sanctuary area there where we call this now Mary Chapel. The tabernacle was originally placed there. And so in the 2014 renovation, we relocated the tabernacle to the sanctuary and then relocated these images of the Blessed Virgin Mary. I believe it's the Immaculate Conception on the left, Our Lady of Lourdes on the right, and of course, the statue in the center is Our Lady of Peace. And those are micro mosaics, and so they are very detailed and three-dimensional, if you will, but it's all out of colored stone. Those two images of the Blessed Virgin Mary, as well as the 14 stations of the cross, as well as the tabernacle and the altar of sacrifice, the altar table, all came from a monastery in Massachusetts. And those mosaics, however, were made in Italy in the middle of the 1940s. And so we had them cleaned and we framed them all in the 2014 renovation. So you can see then we also got these theater type directional spotlights. And so you can see in the other parts of the church where it's a little darker, those mosaics are lit up just precisely inside the frame. And they almost give the appearance of maybe being, you know, I don't know, stained glass or something.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, the 1981 church was just this main nave, and in 1996, my predecessor, Father Weil, broke out the back wall and added 500 seats. So you can see that the stained glass art is very different from the stained glass in the front part of the church. At the 1996 renovation, Father Weil also put in much of this marble in the back, and he purchased and brought in this statuary. So the Blessed Virgin Mary and St. Joseph and the crucifix are actually they're fiberglass, but they were added to the church when this marble was added in. In 2014, when we renovated we emptied the whole church out. sent the pews off somewhere where they were repaired and dipped and then restained. We had all this terrazzo floor. I don't know if you've ever seen terrazzo laid, but it is a lost art. So all of this terrazzo was put in. We expanded the sanctuary, and I mentioned we put the tabernacle. And here's another example of that beautiful mosaic work. That is a replica of the tomb of Pius V, I believe, in the Basilica of San Lorenzo in Rome. And that's the Good Shepherd. It's my favorite image in the whole church, actually. Also in 2014, I commissioned the architectural artist to create these two additional paintings. This is a version of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I have named that painting, however, the Heart of God, the doorway to communion. And I wanted his hand to be extended outward in the gesture of, enter in, join me, pass through the doorway. The other is a conception of St. Albert the Great, who's the patron of the church. And if you were to get closer to it, you would see that he is holding a miniature image of the St. Albert the Great Parish. Pretty much the history of the inside of the church building. We did install, when we were doing the terrazzo, we did install the 8-point stars. So for those who are interested, 8 is the biblical and theological number for the first day, the new creation, after the seventh day. There were 8 people in the ark with Noah, and it has been an ancient baptismal reference and a scene, so that's why most baptistries like this one are octagonal. And so we tried to place these 8-point stars where the sacraments take place, pretty much. So we have weddings and funeral caskets there. We have baptism here. We greet the catechumens and the seekers in the OCIA on that, so kind of a doorway location. The most acclaimed feature of this church, it was built in 2004, and it is an adoration chapel. And it is connected over here. It's pretty much perpetual adoration, in as much as it's 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. But you might Yes, this is a reliquary collection, the relics of several saints.
Are these first class relics?
Yes, I believe they are. They are either bone fragments or fabric, from clothing. Yeah. So I guess that would be a first and second degree relic. But the Blessed Sacrament is not exposed during the weekend, because we can't. Since COVID, we haven't been able to staff it. So these windows were made by the Manns Company in Germany. And so Father Weil and parishioners went to Germany with these architectural plans, and they had these saints chosen and then constructed for this parish community and this room. You may recognize, if you've done any work at the Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist, those windows are also done by the Manns Company in Munich, Germany, and they have a Last Supper window that is almost identical to this one. The mystery for most parishioners here is that why are there only 10 apostles? One story is that there are supposed to be 2 adorers present every hour, and so we are invited to be the 11th and 12th participants. And we named this chapel in honor of Pope John Paul II, Saint Pope John Paul II, and an interesting feature or fact about this is that Archbishop Timothy Broglio, who is the Archbishop for the military in the United States, he is also a priest of the Diocese of Cleveland. He was a friend of Father Viles, and he came and dedicated this chapel in 2005 when it was finally completed. So little. And he is now concluding his term as the president of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. In 2018 maybe, we were especially turning to evangelization in our mission and our vision. And so we have a metal worker artist in the parish, Kathleen, and she, helped design, and then she fashioned a Jerusalem cross, which is the missionary's cross. So we replaced our more traditional processional cross with the missionary's cross.
All right, y'all, it is Christmas Eve. I hope you enjoyed that video of St. Albert's the Great. I am here at Holy Family Parish in Stowe. I can't wait to show you this parish now. How do you like that statue of Padre Pio, Saint Padre Pio, in the background? So, stay tuned, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good one.